Nowadays, there's an incredible amount of time pressure with regard to warehouse storage. We want our shipments to be tracked at all times. And then the topic of the IoT comes into play. We scan an item once and then attach this small blue block here. This is a Bluetooth transmitter or beacon, and this beacon has a unique number. These two are now linked together as I carry out the scanning procedure here. So from now on, I can track this small block at all times. This block contains a battery, a temperature sensor, as well as a shock sensor in the event that the pallet is handled incorrectly. All the related information is recorded here. And then there are gateways. For example, we have a gateway here, and this gateway, if I pass by here with my pallet, this gateway then states, I am here. This contains a card, a SIM card like the one in a telephone, and this then sends a signal to the cloud. This means we collect all of the information in the cloud and then process this information. Then we know exactly through which door on the customer's premises and in which warehouse the respective item is located. We therefore reinterpret this gateway as a location, a storage location, a factory, and can thereby automatically post everything in SAP. Now, you can get the idea. The next step now is the heavy goods vehicle, as there is a mobile gateway on the HGV. This mobile gateway then accompanies my pallet the entire way. This gateway, for instance, sends position information every 3 minutes, which means that I know exactly where my pallet is. Postings are no longer necessary. Manual input is no longer necessary, and scanning is no longer necessary. Posting an item takes place in one direction as such, with the information going directly into the SAP system, but tracking takes place via the digital twin. We record all the information relating to this pallet and this packaged material here. The data that you see here on the app, that comes from the digital twin as defined here. That's the chain. So you could say I define my digital twin. I transfer the data to the digital twin. I analyze the data and then carry out the corresponding actions. That is to say, gather information from the data. Here's one small example in this regard. Via routing information, that is to say, route guidance, we are able to see how this pallet with this gateway has been transported through the area. And these red dots here, for example, represent information. A limit was exceeded here. The temperature was too hot or too cold. In this case, we use a blockchain in order to retain the quality of my goods, for example. Finally, the item arrives at the customer's premises. We can perform the handover at the customer's facility and we know exactly what has happened. And it's possible to develop this chain further into the supermarket, into the supply system for the supermarket, through to the compartment in which the items are stored in order to sustain the refrigeration chain. Relatively simple events when you know what goes on with a digital twin.